Mom, how are you? Mom, where are you now? Please come to us. I'm very worried.
A blackout plan is not only about water, flashlights, and supplies. Those things matter. But when the internet stops working, the next problem is usually information and communication. Who do you contact first? Where do you meet if calls fail? Which numbers, addresses, documents, and instructions are still available without the internet? In this video, we'll focus on two quiet but important parts of home preparedness: a family communication plan and the information that should be accessible offline. A family chat is not a communication plan. It is only a convenient tool while the internet is stable, the phone has battery, and everyone is calm. During a long blackout, communication often does not fail all at once. It fails gradually. First, home internet may stop working if the provider has no backup power. Then, mobile internet can slow down because too many people are using it at the same time. After a few hours, some mobile base stations may also start shutting down, depending on their backup batteries. The phone battery gets lower. One person writes in a messenger, another tries to call, a third person does not receive messages, because the signal appears for a few seconds and disappears again. At that moment, the real problem is no longer just a weak signal. The real problem is that the family never agreed in advance what to do when the signal is lost. Usually it looks like this. One person writes in the family chat, another person calls, a third person waits for an answer and starts to worry. Someone sends heavy voice messages or photos, which overload an already weak connection. Someone else keeps refreshing the news feed. As a result, batteries drain quickly. The network becomes even harder to use, and there is still no clarity. That is why a family communication plan should have 6 simple elements: who coordinates, who contacts whom first, what messages to send, when to check communication, who keeps backup contacts, and where to look for each other if there is no connection at all. The first element is the coordinator. You do not need a complicated 10-page scheme. It is enough to choose one main person and one backup person in advance. For example, if a serious disruption begins, everyone first tries to contact the father. If he is unavailable, they contact the mother. If both are unavailable, they contact a chosen close relative or neighbor. The point of a coordinator is that information does not spread chaotically across different channels. One person collects short status updates: who is where, who is okay, who has already reached home. The second element is the order of contact. The family should know clearly who calls or messages whom first. For example, a child tells the parents that they are in a safe place. An older relative calls only one coordinator, not everyone at once. One adult contacts neighbors, another contacts distant relatives. If this order does not exist, people start duplicating calls, loading the network, and wasting valuable battery power. The third element is short messages. When the connection is unstable, long voice messages, videos, photos, and emotional conversations are the worst format. They require a stable data connection and often do not send at all. It is better to use SMS or short text templates. They use much less data and often have a better chance of getting through than messenger files. Agree on templates in advance. I am home, everything is okay, I have left, I am with the neighbors. Battery is low, no connection for 2 hours. Waiting at the meeting point. The fourth element is communication intervals and backup connection options. If the signal disappears, do not turn on the screen every 3 minutes, call repeatedly, and refresh messengers. That will drain the battery quickly. Agree to check communication on a schedule. For example, once every hour for 5 to 10 minutes. Keep one device active for communication. Keep the others turned off or in deep power-saving mode. If your mobile network disappears completely and national roaming is available in your country, try switching manually to another available operator in the phone settings. And if cellular service is completely down, local offline communication tools can help only at short distance if they were installed and tested in advance. For example, within nearby buildings or a small neighborhood. The fifth element is a paper contact list. This seems old-fashioned only until the phone is dead and the number you need is trapped inside an unavailable messenger. The list should include family members, neighbors, doctors, school contacts, utility services, and relatives. Add addresses and a short note, who this person is, and in what situation they should be contacted. Keep this list in the blackout box or near the entrance hallway. The sixth element is meeting places. If communication disappears completely and for a long time, the family should know where to look for each other. The first place is home. The second place is the apartment of a trusted neighbor or relative. The third place is a clear, safe outdoor point near the home. Without this agreement, people may start moving around randomly, looking for each other and missing each other. A family communication plan should not be complicated. It can fit on one sheet of paper and be placed somewhere visible. The difference between a chat and a plan is simple. A chat works when the internet works. A plan works when the internet is already unreliable. This approach does not guarantee a perfect connection, but it removes panic and uncertainty. And in the dark, uncertainty is often what scares people the most. Information that exists only on the internet may stop being useful during a blackout. It may technically exist, but you may not be able to open it. On a normal day, this is almost invisible. Documents are in the cloud, phone numbers are in contacts, addresses are in messengers, routes are in map apps, instructions are in the browser, bank details are in an app. Photos of documents are somewhere inside old messages. Everything is convenient while the internet is stable. Everything is convenient while the phone is charged, the device works, and the situation is calm. But during a long outage, this habit becomes a weak point. The phone may be charged but have no network. The network may appear for a few minutes and disappear again. An app may not open. The cloud may not load. A messenger may show old chats but not let you find the file you need, and then you realize something uncomfortable. Important information was saved, but in reality, it is not accessible. The main mistake is keeping everything important only online. It is especially risky to rely only on messengers, cloud storage, email, banking apps, and online maps. In a stressful moment, a person may not remember a relative's phone number. They may not know the exact address. They may not be able to open photos of documents, find a medical policy, find a prescription, open an equipment instruction, or use a route without internet. That is why you need a digital and physical emergency information kit, a kind of digital go-bag, an autonomous layer of critical information for the moment when the network is no longer reliable. The first block is documents. The family should have photos or scans of the most important documents. Passports, birth certificates, medical records, insurance documents, housing documents, car documents, documents for a child, and documents for pets, if needed. But these copies should not exist only in the cloud. The minimum backup level is local storage on the phone, but do not keep sensitive documents in the general photo gallery. If the phone is lost or stolen, that creates a privacy risk. It is better to store them in an encrypted local folder. Also keep a separate protected drive, such as an OTG flash drive that works with your phone. And keep originals or paper copies at home in a waterproof file. One important detail for Ukraine. The government app DIA can cache you some documents and show them without internet. But during a long blackout, if servers are disrupted, you may not be able to sign in or generate a QR code. Local PDF scans and paper duplicates are still the most reliable backup. The second block is contacts. A paper contact list should not be a decorative backup idea. It should be a real working tool. It should include phone numbers for family members, neighbors, your doctor, a school or kindergarten, the building management company, close relatives, insurance contacts, a veterinarian, and local emergency services. Add not only phone numbers but also addresses, who this person is, where they live, and in what situation they should be contacted. For older relatives, make this list in large print. If the phone is dead or without network, the paper list becomes the main reserve. The third block is routes. Download offline maps to your phone in advance, your neighborhood, your city, and your main routes. Home, relatives, a hospital, a meeting point, a pharmacy, a grocery store, an aid point, or a fuel station. Google Maps, Organic Maps, and Osman can be useful for this. One important detail. The GPS receiver in your smartphone communicates directly with satellites. It does not need internet or cellular service to determine your coordinates. Navigation can still work, but only if you downloaded local maps in advance. The fourth block is home instructions. These should be short, clear notes, not long documents. Where is the blackout box? Where do you shut off the water? Where is the electrical panel? How do you turn on emergency light? How do you connect the router to backup power? How do you use the power station? Where is the first aid kit? What medicine does a family member take? These instructions are needed because memory works worse under stress, darkness, and fatigue. If only one family member knows how to manage everything, that is a critical weak point. Allergies, regular medication, important doctor instructions, doctor contacts, specific needs of a child or pet. This should not exist only in one person's head. A printed sheet can save time explaining to a doctor or neighbor. The sixth block is money and account access. Passwords should not be written in plain text on a sheet, but safe access, two-factor authentication, backup codes, backup bank and insurance contacts should be planned. If you use a password manager, make sure it supports a local offline cache. You can open it without internet. Recovery codes for important accounts should also be printed. Separately, keep some cash in small bills. When systems fail, bank cards, Apple Pay and Google Pay may stop working. Cash does not replace the banking system, but it can cover simple household purchases when digital payment is temporarily unavailable. The seventh block is storage. Offline information must be stored where it can be found quickly. Part of it should be in the phone memory, and part should be on paper. The paper set is best kept near documents, near the Blackout box, or in another obvious area. If you need to search through cabinets in the dark to find it, it is not a real reserve. The main rule is simple. Everything that is critical in the first hours of a blackout should not exist only online. This does not mean rejecting digital services. It means having a normal backup layer. Cloud storage, messengers, and online maps are convenient, but they need a backup. When information is available without internet, you do not waste battery trying to open an app again and again. You do not wait for a file to load. You simply open a folder, a paper sheet, or an offline map and move to action. The logic is the same as with water or the first aid kit. When normal services fail, order becomes more valuable than speed. An offline information kit does not make the home fully autonomous, but it removes one of the most unpleasant blackout problems. The situation where you have the answer, but access to it depends on the internet that no longer works. The goal is simple. Your family should not depend on memory, panic, or the internet in the worst moment. Write down the contacts, agree on the order of communication, save the key information offline, keep paper copies where they can actually be found. A good plan does not need to be dramatic, it needs to be clear before the disruption starts. Stay safe, stay calm, and stay connected with the people close to you.